friends, it's Meridy here, and today I am here with you with instructions on how to put together the Epic Page Kit by Not Just for Boys Kit Club. So first I'm going to show you what's included in your Epic Page Kit. The first thing you're going to get is a sheet of instructions. Those are double-sided, full-color instructions with pictures and cut guides and everything. So you're going to have one of those sheets in your page kit. The next thing that you're going to get are these Cocoa Vanilla No Limits chipboard stickers. They're really, really cool. And there's adhesive on the back. So those are chipboard stickers. And then you're gonna get a roll of summer washi tape. It's called Summertime Dot Washi Tape from Cartabella. It matches this kit very well, and it's got white polka dots. You're gonna get one sequins, Not Just for Boys sequins, that matches and coordinates with this Epic kit. And you're gonna get one of these Shimmers Paints Cream Ease paints in Dandelion. And these are like a little paint jar, and it's dry inside. You activate it with water when you're using it. And yeah. And then the papers you're gonna get this Cocoa Vanilla No Limits Latitude paper. It's called Latitude. And this Cocoa Vanilla No Limits paper, and this one is called Nebula. And a sheet of this Simple Stories paper from the Full Bloom line. I thought the colors matched so well. It's called Snailed It. There's little snails on the back and plaid on the front. You're gonna get one sheet of sunflower cardstock by American Crafts, one sheet of I believe it's tangerine, I can't remember the name of the color, an orange cardstock by American Crafts, and 2 sheets of smooth white cardstock. So that is what is going to come in your kit, all these goodies. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is refer to your instructions, and there are cutting guides in your instructions that explain how to cut all of these papers down and trim them down. So I'm gonna go do that right now, and you can go do that, and I will be right back. Alrighty friends, so I have my papers cut, and the very first thing that I'm going to want you all to do involves some fussy cutting. I'm gonna basically fussy cut all of the big stars out of this paper. Now don't panic, I'm not fussy cutting all these little stars. I'm cutting all the stars, let me use this to point, that have like multiple stars inside. So the bigger ones, this one, even this one, this is like the tiniest one. These big ones that have multiple stars inside. Okay, all of these that I'm going over. I am not cutting all of these little ones. That's just way too much fussy cutting for me. Way too much fussy cutting for you guys, all these little ones. I probably will cut this one and this one because they're a little bit bigger. I'm even gonna cut the ones that are hanging off the edge, like this one, this one, this one, maybe that one, that one, that one, this one, but not like this little guy and not that little thing. Those are too small. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that fussy cutting off camera, and then I will be back. Okay, I've got all of these stars cut, the big ones. And you can see I left these little ones just like that. If you wanted to do even more stars, you could cut some of these tinier ones, or you can get a star punch and flip this over and punch a few stars out of the back. But I am not going to do that. I think I have plenty of stars here. I am gonna keep those just until I'm totally done with the layout off to the side. So what we're gonna do here is make let's set out the base of this page first. So you're going to want to take both of these sheets of white paper, and this is going to be the background of the layout. And then we're gonna get these other papers that we've trimmed and kind of lay them out where they are going to be. I'm gonna put the red at the top, but it doesn't matter. It really truly doesn't matter. What did I do here? What is happening? Okay. So I'm gonna put this piece underneath, this plaid, with the orange stripe along the seam. And this piece I'm gonna use where the orange is right against it. That's gonna go so it looks like it's a continuous pattern. But we are going to do some trimming here. So all that we're really gonna do right now is trim kind of a little bit right here. So let's adhere some of this down. This is a little bit of a tricky layout. I'm going to adhere this paper down, but I'm not going to put adhesive. I'll show you. In this area, I'll show you after I get it adhered where you don't want to put adhesive because you're going to go trim some out. So when you've got your page laying like this, there's no adhesive right here. Do you see how I can easily get in there? I am going to go ahead and adhere this down, but I am going to, this is going to be part of this arch. There's an arch of stars on the completed layout. So we are going to have to trim away a little of this paper, and I'm going to do a little trimming of that away right now. Just kind of, it's real hard to give you cutting instructions for this because it's not really like a measurement or a shape. It's kind of just part of the arch, and you're gonna see it doesn't need to be smooth because there's so many stars it's gonna cover up, but I just trimmed a little of that corner out. And this will all make sense when you see how we're gonna do the stars. So you might want to watch a little of the video before you trim. And the same thing is going to happen on this side. I'm only going to adhere this paper from about here to about right here, and I'm going to leave this off. Actually, I think I can go ahead and cut it right now. Again, it's just like part of an arch. I know it's not pretty right now, guys. It doesn't matter. All of this whole seam is going to be covered by stars. But yeah, it's the easiest way I could explain how to do this. So now we've got, let me make sure that I'm on camera here. Okay, so we've got this laid out. This little piece is gonna go over here. I'm not even worried about this side right now, about this little thing. So we're gonna just set this off to the side. What I am worried about, I'm not worried about these branding strips either. What we're gonna concentrate on are all of these stars. And let me move them down so I can grab them easy. Okay, and as you can tell, the stars are all different sizes. So I found the easiest way for me to make this arch was to, my arch goes from tiny little stars, bigger, 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 and all the biggest stars at the bottom. So I'm kind of going to just throw them. Like, I'm not trying to place them. I'm not trying to make a pretty design yet. I'm just putting the smallest ones over here. And the medium sized ones, see, this one was at the edge, so it's trimmed off. It's okay, I'm just sticking them. Those will go on the bottom layers. And then I think I've got everything a little bit too much over here because there's not very many of the super large stars. So after I throw them all out and just really loosely throw them, and this is totally how I made this layout. Yeah, see, I've got a lot of tinier stars over here, so we're gonna move things down. I feel like I might have forgotten to cut a piece. I'm looking through my scraps real quick. Oh well. And this one, it's only half a star, but it can just go right off the bottom. So then we come back in and start a little bit nicer laying the stars out and just tucking under. So it makes this really great arch of stars, almost like a rainbow shape of stars. And if you've got a couple, it's okay to put a couple of the smaller ones into the larger section to fill in holes. Like, I feel like it's kind of bare right there. So I'll stick a few larger ones in there. I mean, smaller ones in there. And then honestly, at the end here, I just kind of smoothed them out with my hand until they went into an arch shape. And I filled in a couple of the smaller stars in there. And this kind of still looks a little awkward right here. It's a little flat down there. The more you shape your arch together, you can kind of see where it's too flat, where it needs to turn. But I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and this might take a little practice. When I first made this, it took me a really long time to get these stars the way that I wanted them. But since I've made the layout once already, it's not that difficult this time. So when you start playing around with the stars, it gets a little easier. Now what I did do, I tried to keep my layout all together in one place while I'm adhering these stars, and I tried to grab things out of the bottom layers, and I tried to keep them kind of in this order that I really quickly laid them out, because it looks so mismatched and not symmetrical. Like, it looks very organic and like you didn't try too hard. The harder that you try to make things look random, the less random it starts looking, because my brain, at least my brain, makes me want to make a pattern. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's really hard for me personally to lay things out random, like one piece at a time, laying this out random. That's why I just had to kind of shape it. Then, like for instance, I've got all these laid down, but this is the top piece in this little area right here that's not adhered. And I went ahead and popped a few of those top stars up on foam tape because I wanted to add a little bit of dimension in here. I'm not using a lot of foam tape right now for this video because I never really put a lot when I'm making my videos, because I just want to get the idea. But you might want to put a little more than what a little more tape than what I just added to that guy right there. And I just keep working my way around this. Just keep working my way around and putting stars where I think that they need to go. And there are quite a few of the little tiny baby ones at the end. So really, if there are places in here that feel like a little bare, at the end, you can even come in when you get to the very end of your adhering, and you could probably pick out a few of those little tiny ones and move them to fill in some spaces. But in general, my biggest ones are on this side and the tiny stars are on that side. I thought it looked pretty nice like that, because when I was first making this layout, I didn't know, I had the idea to make an arch out of stars, but I was like, how can I have some sort of order to this? It would have probably been harder. I tried a few times to just randomly put all the stars, like some big ones, some small ones, and it was really difficult for me to do that. So that's why I then took them and tried to organize them a little by size. It worked a lot better. So I'm going to continue doing this all the way around. I am not going to do it all on camera because it can get very boring, but literally this is exactly what you do. And just tuck things under, pop things up on top. I think I'll pop this one up on top. and just try to keep that arch going. If you notice that it's getting a little flattened out in some places, you can pick up your, if you're not using a ton of adhesive on the back of these, you could probably lift them up gently and move one or two over as you go to kind of finagle things. But yes, as you can tell too, my stars are not all going straight up and down. They're just randomly laying in different directions. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to finish this arch, and I will be right back to show you the next step. All right guys, so I've got these all adhered down, and you can see that some of the stars overlap the seam. So what I'm going to do is simply trim those off. That one was underlapped, so you can't even see it. I'm going to get rid of that little scrap. But this one that overlaps, I am going to trim down. I'm going to save that trim piece, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere it. It already has adhesive on the back. I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to that side of the page. Okay, now you might not be able to tell in this video, but some of the corners of my stars are really lifting up. I'm gonna leave those like that. It's fine. And at the very end of my layout, I can come in and add little adhesive, but we're gonna be adding paint behind there, so I don't want to adhere them all the way down immediately right now. Next step. So you've got this piece that you cut originally, and then you've got this little scrap that you just cut off of the top of this. So let's trim this down into a square. We're just gonna trim it right across. So it is a square. And we are gonna build up this little corner over here. And then you've got some branding strips. I used just those two branding strips. I didn't use this one. Did I? No. Okay, I used these two branding strips. I'm gonna cut the little bad parts off the end. If you don't like the white showing around the branding strip, you're going to want to trim down, or just trim a scrap of these papers. You know, you can do that too. And these are gonna eventually go over here. I'm going to grab our washi tape, and we're gonna just put washi in two places. We're gonna put washi all the way down this right here. And then we're gonna use some more washi in this little area. So when we adhere that down, we'll do that. Okay, next is, let's not adhere this quite yet. Next, let's move these things off of our desk and let's mat all of your pictures. Alrighty, you have two sheets of cardstock in your kit. You've got an orange sheet and a yellow sheet. And you can either use one of these colors or a combination of both of these colors, however you like. I wanted to give you an option here. And these are for matting your photos. So as you may know from watching my other videos, instead of photos in my video, I use these little white sheets of paper to represent my photos. And I trimmed my photos down to 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So they're just slightly smaller than 3 by 4 because it's so much easier to cut the mats in even 3 by 4 mats. So I trimmed my photos a little, and I'm going to go ahead and mat all 6 of those photos on the yellow cardstock. So I've got all those matted, and I'm going to take the 2 for the right hand side, and I'm going to work on the right hand side of the layout in a minute. I'm going to put those off to the side. We're going to focus on the left hand side of the layout for a few minutes. It's much easier to see in the video when we're only working with one at a time. Okay, these are going to be just like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and adhere the pictures down, just like that. And if you want, you can wedge the picture underneath the stars, or you can make the picture overlap the stars. It's up to you. Like if the little corner of the picture is getting in the way of your stars. And I'm actually gonna wedge mine underneath the stars, so the star looks like it's going over the top of my picture. See how I did that there? And you know, I think we're gonna go ahead and finish this side of the layout before I move on to the other side, because it's just easier than flipping back and forth and back and forth. So you've got these cardstock stickers, and you can use whichever ones you'd like to embellish this side of the layout. Oop, I punched that out too fast and I lost the adhesive right there. So we will try not to punch out so fast. I'm going to put Born to Be Awesome first so that my word epic can kind of sit on it. Born to Be Awesome. And then I'm gonna let that act as like a little shelf for the word epic. And of course, you can use whichever words and images that you want off this sticker sheet. You don't have to do exactly the ones that I'm doing. Okay, I have very thick nails and I just peeled the sticky off of this letter too. So we're gonna have to glue this one down. Let's try this again. There we go. I like to add adhesive to chipboard stickers in general anyway, so on my final layout I would add adhesive behind all of these letters anyway. And then I'm going to use one of these little yellow stars right above epic, and then the only other thing that we've got on this side of this part is sprinkling a few sequins. And when I sprinkle sequins, I literally sprinkle it. That's how I make it look random. Because if I don't sprinkle it and try to lay it out random, it ends up looking like I tried to be random but couldn't be random. I hope that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera to adhere all those sequins, but that is the left-hand side of this layout. So when I come back, I will pull out the right-hand side of this layout. So here we've got the right-hand side of the layout, and we've got one picture that's gonna wedge under these stars over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere that down. Lift up these stars a little. There we go. So it looks like it's going out from underneath there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and kind of adhere this whole block together with the photo. Oh, I did this totally backwards. What am I doing? What am I doing? I want it to go. Oh, that was a mistake. Okay, I want this block to be like this. And then the picture to be somewhat over the top right there. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this whole grouping down to the layout right about there. And then I'm going to come in with my washi tape. Here it is. tear a piece off. And I'm just gonna slide that right under there like that. So that way I've got some of that washi tape pattern on this side of the layout. And I'm not gonna put adhesive all the way to the end of this because I am going to just make it go partially off the page, and I'm gonna trim that off. Same with this one. I'm gonna make it go a little bit longer. And then I'm just gonna trim those ends off right there. Great. Now I can go back to my stickers, and I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna do this off camera because this is gonna take a real long time for me to adhere all these, but I'm gonna put the You're Awesome across this bottom. I'm not gonna even punch the whole thing out right now on camera because it takes a while, but you get the idea where that's going. I'm gonna put this star across the top, which I can go ahead and do that now. This star I'm gonna put right there. This little blue star, I'm going to, long nails, or this is not the easiest thing to do with long nails. That star is gonna go up there. This little orange star is gonna go down here. This thing that says Fun Fun is gonna hang off the bottom of the Awesome. And then I also used this star. I'm gonna go ahead and adhere all of these chipboard pieces down, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so I have all of this adhered down, and then I'm going to grab my Cream Ease Dandelion Paint that came in the kit, and you're gonna wanna activate this with water and let it sit for a little bit so the water can really soak up the pigment color. And it takes like, I don't know, I would put a little water in it and let it sit for about 5 minutes before you go to use it. And then I'm just gonna take my brush with some of the pigment and water. Don't make it too soaking wet, and I'm gonna just come in here and paint. This is why I said don't worry about the stars that aren't sitting all the way down. There we go, got some brighter color there. I had a little too much water in there at first. And I'm just really quickly painting kind of like a messy paint. I didn't let my paint sit long enough when I first started using it, so it wasn't getting enough pigment in the water. But this looks great. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same here. I didn't do this first, like before I glued everything down, because I don't like the way it makes the paper a little bit warpy. I didn't want the paper warping before adhering everything to it. I would rather come in and paint in afterwards. And I just go pretty quickly. Okay, and then I am gonna grab my other side while this side is drying. And I'm just gonna do the same thing under these stars on this side. And just really quick come in there with the brush. Spread it out a little. If I get it too wet, you might wanna have a paper towel on standby to soak up blotches. But there's that. And then after your initial paint there dries, let me get a little towel and soak up some of these blotches. When that initial paint dries, I'm gonna go back to my original side. I'm in the desert out here, guys. Mine dries real fast. You can take like a pencil or any other tool, take some paint on your brush and do splatters, just like that. You kind of want to do it after the initial paint dries, otherwise the splatters will just soak into the paint. And then I'll come on this side, do the same thing. And I'm not worried if my splatters get on my stars a little bit. It's fine with me. But that's where I did the splatters. And then you don't want to shut this right away and close it. I leave mine sitting open and I let mine dry for a couple of days before I close it, because I have had one get really gross when I closed it when it was all wet. So I try to let mine dry for a few days, dry out real well before I close it. And this is what I was talking about coming in after to get, if you want any of these ends of these stars, I just take a little glue pen and push the ends down for the ends of some that are sticking up. You don't even have to do that. It kind of looks nice that they're curling up a little. Okay, so the final thing that you're gonna wanna do on this layout, which I'm not going to be able to do for a little while because I need my splatters to dry first, but I am going to take my sprinkles, my sequins, and sprinkle a few down here and a few up there and adhere them. But like I said, I can't do that right this minute because my splatters are still real wet because the splatters are thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I will do that before I post pictures at the end of this video. But this is this layout. I love how it turned out. I hope you do too. If you wanna see how our design team use these supplies to make different layouts, you can join our Facebook group at Not Just for Boys Kit Club community, and our design team will post all unique ways that they use this kit. They don't follow my instructions. If you make this page, or if you make another page using these supplies, you can share your work there too on that Facebook group. If you like sharing your work, we love seeing it. And I'm gonna put some still pictures at the end of this video. There's a photograph of this layout on your instruction sheet that you can refer to. There are photographs and close-up photographs of this layout on our website at notjustforboyskitclub.com. And it's called, the page kit is called Epic Page Kit. So you can look there to find more pictures and detailed shots. Even after the kit sells out, we still keep the pictures up there. So when you're making your layouts, you can refer back to them. But other than adding the sequins, guys, that's it for this one. And thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.